Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ron, and today we are going to be discussing potential ideas or hypotheses for new grenades in Deep Rock Season 3. This has been confirmed by the developers, as well as they've teased a couple other things, like something is coming to the planet, but it's not robots. So maybe we'll get to see what the rival company is like. I'm still calling it that they're gnomes. Some other people want to have elves, other people want to have goblins. I think any of them would be super fun to have in the game. Same with just humans. Humans, I feel like, would be the most boring one. But anyway, they did say they were getting new grenades for each of the classes. And I would like to just kind of speculate about some potential grenades. There's plenty of other things that you could throw at bugs, throw at robots. And I'm sure that they will come up with something very unique, something very fun to use. But for the time being, I would just like to kind of speculate on this. I've done this a couple times while I've been streaming and just talking to people in chat. And they have come up with some pretty cool ideas too, so I wrote down a couple. The first grenade that I think would be really cool and super fun to have in the game would be some sort of black hole grenade or some sort of implosion type grenade where you just throw it out and it sucks all the enemies into a certain area. It could even suck in materials too. Maybe be used for somewhat of a mining. Maybe that's what its original use was, or what the original technology was supposed to be used for. Was for, like, you throw it out a vein of nitra and it sucks all the nitra out and then compresses it. Of course, another option is just to have it all just explode out once it has, like, imploded in on itself. I think that would be a really cool idea. Maybe that was, like, the only way management could get the materials to kind of just be there without just, like, crushing them down to nothing. Have that as an explanation. And I think this would be an awesome grenade to either put with Driller, because you already have so many options for mining. You have, like, your EPC, and you have the C4 that can be used for mining. But I think it would be another cool grenade for Gunner as well. It could also work with Engineer, I think, too. Just, he's been tinkering with it and made some sort of black hole-like grenade or implosion-like grenade. I think it would be a really interesting one to have in the game, and I think that would be super fun to just either use for mining or just for using for, like, crazy ragdolls. Just pull everything in and fling them all over the place. The second grenade idea that I had was spider mines. Since we already have proximity mines, and we don't really have any other sort of mine, besides like mine layer system with the hurricaners, I was thinking something like a spider mine where you throw it out and maybe it burrows itself in the ground and then just waits for enemies to come by and then it pops up and runs towards them or something. I think that would be a pretty cool idea. It would be another invention. I think it would be best suited for like Engineer, just something that he made studying the bugs or something like that. Maybe he made it look like a mini Steve, or maybe he made it look like a maggot. There's so many options that he could do there. You could even make it somewhat flying to make it look like Fester Fleas or something like that. It makes like a chirping noise and then explodes. I think that one would be pretty cool. Although with Engineer, it would be kind of weird since you have proxy mines then. I guess the spider mines kind of make sense because you could have them do different things. Maybe they do less damage, or maybe just they explode once, whereas like the proximity mine can explode multiple times but takes time to actually set up and you can retrieve it. Maybe you could still have the retrieve ability with the spider mines, go pick them up out of the ground if you need them, or off the walls or whatever it might be. I guess you could also give him to Scout too, just have him like launch him out or something. Third idea would be a net grenade. So you shoot this out and then it just nets all the enemies. Holds all the enemies in place, maybe to the ground. I'm not sure about directly to the ground because it might mess up some of the pathing with like Macteras, and it might not work entirely on something like trawlers or something where they're already in the ground. But just make it so that you just hold everything there. Maybe it does damage over time. Maybe it's like an electric effect or some sort of corrosive effect or something like that, where it starts eating away their armor. I think electric effect works a little bit better because you could just explain it away by having like IFG grenades on there or something, or like the same type of technology that like the taser bolts have. And I think that this grenade would be a great addition to either Scout primarily, or maybe even Driller, because I think it would work kind of well with Driller's setup too. You net a bunch of things, and then maybe you take your drills over there and just hack them all up. My idea was that they couldn't really move when they're in the net, but maybe could still attack if any enemies are real close or any allies are real close. It would also give some other options if Steve or Bosco just wanted to go in there and beat them up. Fourth grenade idea was a frequency grenade, something that lets out a high frequency that scares away all the bugs. Maybe doesn't work on robots, though, or maybe it kind of scrambles the robots so that they can't function quite right. Their pathing is off, or maybe they just don't target anything. Maybe they can target each other or target enemies nearby. And then it fears all of the bugs away from the area. So it acts just like any of the fear effects on the weapons. I think that would be a pretty interesting idea, and you could really give this one to anybody. I was thinking like probably Engineer, because maybe he's tinkering with it, maybe he made it. It's whatever the frequency is that maybe Steve didn't like, or maybe scared Doretta, or, you know, you could have all sorts of background stuff that whatever the heck happened. But it would also work on like Scout, because you throw it out, scare everything away. Maybe it'd be an option for, you know, taking care of crowds, because Scout's grenades don't really do that besides the freezing grenade, and they just kind of slow the horde down unless they're a bunch of swarmers, and then it kills them. You could also put it with Driller. I think Driller makes a lot of sense too. Practically everybody's afraid of the Driller. He's the psychopath. The fifth potential grenade is kind of a weird one that I thought would be interesting, but you couldn't give it to one particular class. And this is a Harpoon type grenade, where you can launch it out. Either it's attached to like your arm, or maybe you just chuck it out and then it hits an enemy, and you can reel yourself to it, or you can reel that thing to you. Maybe if you hit like red sugar, you could, you know, reel the red sugar to you, or maybe you could throw it on a bug. If it's like a small grunt or something, you can pull it towards you. But then if you hit something like a Praetorian, you know, you'll pull towards it because it's got more mass to it. So you can't do that. Obviously, you can kind of see which class this wouldn't work on. It wouldn't really work on Scout. It would be fun on Scout. You know, you grapple hook away, you throw this to it, you pull yourself back, or you do the opposite. You pull yourself to something, grapple hook away, grapple hook around it. It could be fun that way, but I think it would work much better on like Driller, or potentially even Gunner. I think it would be interesting if you had it somewhat connected to Driller's drills in some way, where you could throw it out, and then maybe if you use your Driller drills, you could pull yourself faster towards whatever object, or you would pull whatever is closer to you faster to it, and then you can start hitting it with the drills. I think that would be a really cool option there. Or you could use it as like an anchor, so that if rollers or grabbers or something maybe try to grab you, you can throw it at the ground and keep yourself in place. I think that would be an interesting idea too. I'm not sure how it would really work, if it would work like a budget heightened senses. And I can see that giving issues in the game, like if a leech grabs you right as you throw it, does it take precedent over the leech, or does the leech, you know, just win by default since it was already in the animation of grabbing you? And then the last grenade idea that I have, at least for right now, there's plenty of other grenades that were suggested, and I think a lot of them are really cool. I'm really looking forward to your guys' comments down below in the comments section. Tell me which grenades you guys would like to have in the game. But the last grenade idea I have is kind of a basic one. We've seen it in other games before, and that's a Bouncing Betty. I think it would work really well with either Driller or Gunner, where you place this Bouncing Betty down, it sits on the ground for so long, and then whenever enemies run across it or fly near it, it'll bounce up into the air and just fire out like a shotgun in all directions, causing maybe a big explosion in the middle. Maybe it has higher chance to stun or something, so it kind of works like a flashbang. Because I can also see this one potentially doing a decent amount of friendly fire damage too. I also was wondering how that would work with the Harpoon grenade that I had just mentioned too. If you were able to throw this into like a friend and pull them towards you, or pull yourself to them, how that might work. Or if it would do like too much friendly fire damage and cause too many issues with friends. Maybe it would just stop once it hit them. Anyway, with the Bouncing Betty, make it so that it doesn't do too much friendly fire damage, but it does enough to clear up like bunches of swarmers. Maybe have it do enough to kill Magterra potentially, or at least deal a decent amount of damage to Magterra. Maybe it deals bonus damage to them. That would be a way to kind of make it so it's not doing too much damage to friendly targets, but Magterra are just inherently weak to it or something. But you could put it on so many angles and walls in this. You don't have to put it directly in the ground and have it bounce up. You could put it on a wall and have it bounce out and then explode, or on the ceiling and drop down and explode. I think you could do a lot of really cool things with a Bouncing Betty type grenade. I'd also thought of a Claymore grenade, but that would be more you set it up, and I don't know how well that would really work if you want to set it up on like the ceiling or something, where it just covers an area that, you know, it'll just blast out like a shotgun blast. If you do that, it would have to go to Scout, because you're probably the only one being able to get up to the ceiling. Whereas opposed to if it's just on the ground or on the walls, I guess it could go to anybody. So those are kind of speculations or hopes for different grenades in the game. We'll have to wait until Season 3 comes out to actually see what we get. I'm sure that they'll be super fun. All the new stuff that they've been adding has been really fun, and I'm really looking forward to Season 3. So thanks everybody for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Special thanks to the supporters of this channel. These are my members over here on YouTube and my patrons over on Patreon. They get early access to videos like this, and if you'd like to be a part of it, you can. There are links down in the description of this video, as well as all my videos. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye!